Here we go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. We are hobbling our way across the finish line this week. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer. Joining me is my international panel of one, Lukasz, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology. Shane is probably sleeping with the rest of the hobbits in New Zealand.
Probably.
TJ is undermining Russian imperial authorities with his tech savvy. And Robert Samborsky is sitting on his couch eating bonbons and doing not much of anything to further the cause. So thank you all for joining us. Post up any comments, questions, queries, quips, smart aleck remarks you may have for us. Lukasz and I are going to do our best. Maybe Shane will join us whenever the hell he wakes up. And we'll get to this. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. As always, we've got some topics that users submitted through the week. I can't even talk right now. That's how.
Slow down.
I know. I need to. So I was telling Lukasz before we got started, I'm hopped up on a bunch of caffeine, migraine medication, ibuprofen, and something else because I spent the first 3 hours of the morning kind of just. We went to go pick some blackberries. Like there's this green belt behind our house, and in like the springtime, there's all these little like wild blackberries and dewberries that start springing up. And because we had a hard winter freeze around Valentine's Day, middle of February, it kind of delayed everything. So last March and April of last year was the first time we found these, and so every Saturday for like 2 hours we go like foraging through the forest and picking all these little. So we tried to go this week. There was barely any. Usually we were coming back with like a pound and a half that we would just find, but because we had that hard winter freeze, a couple months back, it's delayed everything. So you're seeing like all the green and red buds, and eventually in the coming weeks they'll all turn black. So we did that from like 7:30 to 9 this morning, and right when we got back from that, I made the girls breakfast, and then bow, migraine pain came searing, and it's always like on this side, so it always makes me wonder, it's like, is there a clot in some kind of blood vessel around here, like that's just kind of like gets inflamed and then it kind of shrinks, and I have no idea. So I'm hopped up on a lot of caffeine and other drugs, so we're gonna see what happens with this episode.
You're probably gonna say a lot of things, and I'm gonna just like listen and just dab my head.
Yeah. What's going on, Brooke? Thank you for joining us. There were two. I sent TJ and Shane a thing. TJ just responded he's out also, so maybe Shane will be alive, or unless he finally succumbed and his daughter actually gained the upper hand and took him out of commission.
Did you heard we got a sponsor?
Who's our sponsor? It's Green. The hell, green cola,
bro! I had to pick it up today. I was walking by a store and I saw it. Okay, I just had to.
Oh my goodness! So what is it? How does it taste compared to regular Coca-Cola?
It has this stevia bite of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
it's
hate stevia.
Good.
Stevia sucks.
It's good. It depends. I don't like stevia sweetened like protein powders. I prefer like sucralose.
The only one I think I've tried that was decent was Nutrex's plant protein. Was that only stevia sweetened?
I think it was a mix.
Was it a mix? I don't remember. We went through that over a year ago. Steel Fits. Let me pull up theirs. Steel Fits vegan protein.
Vegan. Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I do like. I mean, the cold brewed coffee flavor of the Steel Vegan was good. Steel Fits vegan protein. Let me pull up the ingredients here. Pea protein, pumpkin seed. Give me the whole thing. Stevia and monk fruit. There is no artificial sweeteners in there, so that's good. And it didn't have a funky aftertaste. I mean, it has the grittiness like all, plant proteins do. But there was no off flavor. So, but I mean, I think that's probably the key to it. You can't just rely solely on stevia. Putting the monk fruit in there, sure, it might add some trace carbs, but it's worth it.
But you know what? To be honest, I like the consistency of the vegan proteins, especially with the recipes. If you combine it with like a kefir or yogurt, or even in pancakes, it's definitely on point.
Have you done much baking with it? So like you're doing like the quick bread, so the pancakes, the waffles, all of those things are pretty. You just whip them up, throw them on the griddle, and then they're done. But have you done like
Yeah.
any muffins, cookies, or anything like that with them?
Have you ever tried doing egg whites bread?
I have not tried an egg white bread. No,
So
I've seen recipes
bas-
for it. I just haven't tried it.
yeah, so basically you whip up the egg whites super hard,
Hmm.
so they got super fluffy and they're
Yeah.
like super airy, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
From like this volume, it has like a full blender of stuff, you know, fully spilled, you know, and
Hmm.
then you just like add some baking powder and some protein powder, mix it up gently, and put it in the oven. Ooh,
Interesting.
man, so good. And
Interesting.
pure
It's almost like
protein.
it reminds me of like almost like a meringue or something because you're taking the egg
Yeah,
whites and then you're whipping them
exactly.
up.
Exactly. And you
Huh.
can do like a small bounce, or you can do like a full batch, and you can do like a big loaf of bread,
And do
basically.
you put it in a loaf pan or you put it in like
Yeah,
a
yeah, loaf. Yeah, exactly.
interesting. I'm gonna have to shoot me that recipe. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, it's super easy, you
I'm
know.
always looking for something crazy to do.
Yeah, it's not nothing complex, and it takes like I don't know 5 minutes to prepare it.
Yeah.
The
Now, are
the
you beating
baking.
the egg whites by hand or are you using like a stand mixer or a hand mixer kind of thing or?
No, the hand mixer works great, but I
Hmm.
basically use blender because I've got like a more powerful blender,
Hmm.
so it mixes it up way more efficiently. So yeah, I'm using this
Oh.
one.
So like a Vitamix or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It's
Does it
just
do
like
you do
more
dessert
polished
flavors
brand.
or does it have a like a sweetness, a dessert flavor, or is it more of a savory?
You can if you like more sweetened stuff, you can add more like sweeteners. But
Hmm.
I prefer just like adding the protein because protein already has some sweeteners in it, so
Yeah.
it gives this nice taste. I don't like super sweet, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like especially bread, because if you're
Right.
gonna cut it and then you're gonna you can like for example top it up with some Greek yogurt or some like berries or something like that,
Hmm.
and it works perfectly fine, man.
Interesting. I think we're thinking about having some friends in the neighborhood over next week for just like cocktails, and I'm gonna make some spinach and artichoke dip, salsa, some other little like finger food stuff. I'm wondering if I can. They've never had any kind of protein baked goods before. I wonder if I can pull one over on them and kind of like try this and see if they'll I can
Do
have
it.
them try it and see what it is.
It's like I said, it's not difficult, so it's easy to do.
I'll just tell them it's a Polish delicacy. That's what I'll tell them. Say it's a Polish delicacy, then they'll go with it that way.
You're gonna sort them out on
There we
it.
go. Shane had two. Yeah, he's probably in a
Probably,
carb-induced coma. He's got to be. I mean, why?
probably.
How could you miss this show?
Yeah, but I talked with him like I don't know, few hours ago. A few hours means like 10 hours, so it was probably before his bedtime.
He
We talked
overslept.
we talked about a bit about a few things on his side and so on. So yeah, I'm always like trying to provide him feedback.
Yeah. And Brooke, you're 100% right. We keep Robbie around for the good looks, and Shane is the journalist that covers everything we say. So it's
Thanks,
always
bro.
just
Appreciate that. I'm gonna hook you up with our new sponsor.
the green cola. Proudly, this final scoop proudly brought to you by Green Cola.
Yeah, man.
Sups on deck. How'd your mom's surgery go, Lucas? Hope all is well.
Yeah, everything went well. Thanks for asking, Subs on Deck. Honestly, you know, she's like a true fighter. And you know, before we went live, I talked, you know, with Robert, and I told him that you know she passed through everything like a champ. You know, didn't complain. Always stayed positive. You know, she was like passing through chemo like was nothing. You know, maybe like few times she had this rough day that she had to lay low. You know, and just like relax more. But honestly, everything went super well. We talked with my brother, with her, like yesterday, today as well,
Hmm.
and probably on Monday we're gonna pick her up from the hospital because she's in other city, 100 kilometers from me right now.
Yeah,
Because there's a special center that covers, you know, those kind of cases as my mom. So yeah, but she's 100% healed, so that's most important thing. Yeah,
absolutely. Are you the younger or the older brother, Lucas?
I'm the younger.
The younger brother. So you're what, 35? How old's your older brother?
36.
Oh man, so it was like wham bam with the kids.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. Yeah.
The three of us were like me, my younger brother, and younger sister. We're all 3 years apart, so it was. I'm always curious, and Sandy is pretty much the same way with her sister. She's the youngest of three, although her two older sisters. So her oldest sister, I think, is 6 years older than her, and then the other one is 4 years older than her, and then so she's kind of like the baby that's picking up she's the caboose.
Did you? How was your relationship with your siblings? Did you had any issues?
No, like my brother and sister, we all got along really well. My parents wouldn't tolerate us not getting along or anything like that. So we got along really well. My brother and I both did taekwondo growing up and all of that stuff. He claims to this day. So when he was really little, wait, I'm going to text him real quick and see if because he can come in and tell this story. I'll send him the link and he can hop on the podcast with us right now. Let me see.
Oh, that would be cool.
I know. Let me see if he's around. All right. Let me find. What the hell is his text message? Let me see. All right, let's see. I know this is really boring for everybody watching me type a message to my brother. There's a story that involves a coffee table, stitches, and me and my brother. And hospital visit and everything. And I get blamed for everything. I to this day, I don't believe. He says I pushed him. I say he tripped over the leg of the coffee table. That's about it. I mean, like, we did this stuff. He said he's available to hop on the podcast right now. He said, I'm sure. One sec. All right. Here we go.
Awesome.
This is going to be interesting. This will be interesting. We're going to see what the hell is going to happen.
Listeners, you are up for a treat.
Yeah.
By the way, I talked with TJ today. He was asking me a few things about supplementation, so
yeah,
I'm curious what he's gonna whip up.
Uh-oh. Like he's asking for ingredient stuff?
Yeah. He was asking for some stuff. Yeah.
Interesting.
For his old man stuff.
Oh, okay. No, Phil, I didn't want you to just hop on the podcast. I want you to actually like jump on the live stream with us. That's why I sent you the link. We not just YouTube live stream.
Is it Phil?
We want you to be a part of the podcast, Phil. We should be a part of the podcast, not just a spectator on the side. We need to iron out a few details from our childhood. Lukasz was asking if we got along, and that brought up the coffee table incident, and I thought we could clarify that for the listeners.
Was it you or was it him? You effed him up?
I didn't do anything. Let's just say I wasn't the one that got the stitches either.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's gonna hop. I don't know if he can hop on. He's got 4 little ones. See?
He pushed me.
You tripped over that. We were running around my grandma's house. So my grandma lived 8 houses down from us. And since he's not jumping on, I get to tell the story. And this is gonna be the way it's gonna go down forever in history. So maybe this will incite him to come on there. Or we're chasing each other around the house. I don't know what we were doing. Whatever. My aunt was there. My mom's sister was there because my mom was at work. We're chasing each other around my grandma's den. And he's doing his 25 reps of pull-ups right now. That's what he's doing.
Oh.
Worthless. Well, good luck on the workout. Don't let us disrupt you.
Yeah, man.
Chasing each other on my grandma's house, and we're running in and out of rooms, and they have this marble coffee table in the middle of their den. We shouldn't have been running. I'll say it that. Maybe they shouldn't have had a marble coffee table in the middle of the den when you got 2 little kids running around.
Of course.
Whatever. I don't remember how old he is either. Maybe I was 7 and he was 4 or something like that. Whatever he says, yeah. So we're probably playing Keyboy or something like that. He runs, I run runway. I weave in and out because I'm an agile little beast at this age. I'm spry. He's not as spry. He trips over the leg of the coffee table. Boo! Comes up. There's just blood like raining down. My mom is a cardiac rehab nurse, and so
Ah, okay.
My aunt throws me and my brother into like the car seats, drives us all the way down to Southern Baptist Hospital in New Orleans, which is now called Memorial Medical Center or Tenet or something. It changed names like 6 times.
Hmm.
Drove us down there, and my brother ends up getting a bunch of stitches in his forehead. And to this day, like if you get up close enough, there's a little, you can see the little stitches like right there. This from the scar from where the stitches were. So yeah, that was but no, we got along just fine as kids. I mean, like you get to do the stupidest stuff, like little kids, like you have a little pushing match or a little smack fight or something like that. I remember one time we were playing roller hockey in the street, and I was probably being a little overbearing, a little aggressive, and I probably checked him a little too hard. And then he came up, he took the hockey stick and went like right on top of my rollerblade. So I'm glad like the rollerblade covered like up halfway across your shin. But man, he got a boom. Yeah, there was I mean, it's stupid stuff, but no, we all got along really well. We all got along really well as kids, so that's good. I mean, we're still on speaking terms and all that, even though he is an Alabama fan. Whatever, we forgive him for that sometimes.
You mentioned that you both were training martial arts, so you from the get go did the same thing, or you did different things.
Phil, have fun catching the kids too, man. We'll speak soon. Thank you for jumping on. Right.
Bye, Heroes. I really like your brother.
There we go. That's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of grief we have to deal with. Yeah. So the way we got started with Taekwondo was that we would go to summer camps when we were kids. So the school we went to for grammar school, St. Anne, they had a summer camp. So it was like an 8-week thing from like June to the end of July. It was just something for kids to do. Like parents throw their kids in summer camp, and it's like an 8-hour thing. So it kind of follows school hours. And one of the first or the second year that we were there, they would always, and so they have different activities during the day. Like you play dodgeball at some point of the day. You have art time. You go swimming. You have a field trip to this place. You go do that. So it's a typical summer camp kind of thing. And then they also had a martial arts day, like between 10 and 10:30. One of the activities you would do is you would go do Taekwondo. And so at the end of the summer, there was always a big martial arts demonstration. And so my brother and I loved seeing them like do all the jump kicks and punches and kick and board breaking and all of this stuff. And plus this is right in the peak popularity of Ninja Turtles. So this is,
oh yeah, man.
Oh, like 93, 94, I think is when we started, maybe 94, 93, 92, somewhere around there. I don't know. My brother was born in 88 and he started when we were 6. So yeah, 94. The summer of 94 is when we started. So we saw the karate demo, and they had like a little, I guess it was a promotion, say, hey, if you participate in all the summer camp classes and you went for like a month of classes, you could start as a yellow belt instead of a white belt at the Taekwondo school. Now, anybody that knows martial arts, I mean, going from white to yellow, it's really like not really it's like a half of a pound increase if you're lifting weights or something. It's nothing. Like you understand how to do front kick, back kick, side kick, a back fist, a reverse punch, and that's about it. Like 6 things.
That's about it.
Yeah. And then so you go and do that, and then you eventually, and that's how we got started with everything. So from that time, we started with it together. We got our black belts together. We did all of this other stuff. So I mean, we did it until the school shut down. My sophomore year that I was at LSU in 2004, 2005. So right before Katrina came and demolished New Orleans at Hurricane. We did that, and so we got started in kid camps. That was kind of like our intro into the Taekwondo school. As we progressed, we ended up going back and teaching at all these little summer camps throughout the years, and we would get students from there, and then they would kind of come in through the school like that. So, but yeah, we did that. We did that. That was our main form of martial arts, was Taekwondo. We both got our black belts in that, and we also did Northern style praying mantis kung fu, Northern Shaolin praying mantis kung fu. We did that for a couple of years too, because our Taekwondo school also had a kung fu instructor there. It was a black sash and a few different styles of kung fu. So we had done that for a few years just because it was fun. Like we had been in Taekwondo long enough that like, hey, let's dabble with these other styles, because the kung fu, the cool thing about so Taekwondo is very heavy in the kicks. So lots of head kicks, lots of jump kicks, which was great because that was my specialty. I did really well at kicks, and it's always fun to kick. But there's not a lot of weapons, not until you become like a red belt or a black belt. Kung fu, you start doing weapons from like your first day as a white sash. Like you're messing around with a staff, and then you get to start learning the Chinese sword, and you get to do a few other things. So it's cool. It was cool because the Chinese martial arts are a lot of very close hand-to-hand combat, especially if you're doing like wushu. Whereas Taekwondo is lots of kicks and breaking and stuff like that. So it was good to have a mix of the two. But I remember, so we, like our classes, we always started with calisthenics. So lots of jumping jacks, push-ups, running around the thing. Then you progress to kick and punch combinations. You do some forms. And then at the end, usually we would have sparring. So after you've been working your ass off for an hour and a half and you're gassed, you're like, all right, let's throw on the pads and let's start fighting. So I got a black eye one time because at this point, so I'm wearing glasses now. I've been wearing glasses or contacts since I was 7 years old. I walked right into my instructor was a 4th degree black belt, and we were sparring one time, and I think I was a blue belt or a brown belt at this point. And I had on like those sports goggles like Horace Grant used to wear for the Chicago Bulls. I had those rec specs on. And like he said, the guy that was reffing us said break because he had popped me with a side kick in the ribs. And so I put my hands down. And they always did this kind of trick where if you weren't ready, like walking back to the line where they would set up for the next round, and he would just say go, and I wasn't ready, and I would just kind of was looking at it, and boom, my instructor popped, kicked the lens out of my sports goggles. I had this giant ass black eye, and I think I was in 8th or 9th grade in high school at the time, and all of my friends like, Robert, what the fuck? Because I'm like the quiet little nerdy kid at school. I mean, I didn't publicize that I was doing Taekwondo or any of that other kind of stuff, but they said, dude, what the fuck happened to you? And I said, well, I kind of got kicked in the face. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. But the whole point of this story is that I guess that was where like my brother and I could unleash our aggression. And like, so he's a spry, intense little guy, especially if you knock the wind out of him. Like when he gets to this point where like he can take a lot of grief and a lot of beating, and then he hits a spot where he redlines, and God help you if you're in his way when he gets pissed, because man, he's like a freaking spider monkey that will not let up. Like he goes fucking ape shit. It's like he goes berserker mode. It's awesome, but kind of terrifying to be on the other end. Like he won't stop.
Guys like that are always furious. They are like,
yeah,
they may look like like laugh, but at the same time they're like, oh man, they can fuck you up big time.
Oh yeah, he definitely, like if you piss him off, man, whew, it's yeah, especially now because he's probably that at the same time a few years after we started doing Taekwondo, he started doing gymnastics as well. So that's why he's a pull-up machine. I mean, he basically can live just hanging by his arms. And doing all the flips and all that kind of stuff. And we would work that in at demos where we'd choreograph these fight scenes and everything like that. So I would swing a sword and he would do a backflip over it and all that kind of cool shit and everything. So yeah, it was good stuff, man. Lucky. And then my little sister, I mean, she was fine. We didn't have any issues with her. Lucky for you, I'm easily entertained. My sisters and I definitely have revisionist history about her. Sandy's got some good stories about her childhood. We'll have to get those told one day.
Oh yeah, man, 100%. But you mentioned your brother, but your sister also trained with you martial arts, or she went separate way?
She did classical ballet dancing, so all the classical type of dancing. She started that from when she was 3 years old, I think is when she started. So right around when my brother and I were starting Taekwondo, she started up dance. And she did that all the way until I mean, she still goes back and teaches classes to this day now. But I mean, she won Miss Dance of Louisiana, and she was runner-up a couple of years in a row for that. She got to travel to Vegas for national competitions and conventions. So she was really good about that. And she did Kung Fu with us for a couple of years, but her passion was always dancing. And she did a little bit of gymnastics and cheerleading too. So
I've noticed that many people that, like go with the martial arts route, they always land in their like in dancing or something like that, something similar to that.
Yeah.
Many of my friends that like started like training, they were like judo or karate. They basically land at the breakdancing school or something similar. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun, and she ended up doing Kung Fu with us for a couple of years. But her passion was always dancing, and then she also started up gymnastics around the same time, or a couple of years after that, and she ended up incorporating a lot of the tumbling skills she acquired in that into doing some acrobatic dance routines too. So she would do the aerials and all the other kind of flips. And then realizing, so I never wanted to do gymnastics because I always thought like wearing the tights and the spandex like the guys had to wear. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's not
Bro,
happening.
I was always scared about it. Plus, you know, when I was younger, I was chubby, so you know
So
how
chubby
it
little
goes.
bastard.
Yeah, you know how it goes. You always like, for example, wear a T-shirt in the pool or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it scares you and intimidates you, but at the same time, you know, you grew up and then you just like, oh fuck it, you know.
Oh yeah, well that's what I will say. It was like once I realized what my brother could do and how ripped and like in shape he got, I was a little jealous that I didn't do gymnastics just because I mean like he could do pull-ups for days. He had a six-pack. Like I'm in high school and Sandy and I had just started dating, so this is probably 2002, and we were all in the pool and like she hit my brother like in the stomach and she says, "Good God, Philip, what do you have under there? Like a rock or something?" and but yeah, I mean, my brother, he got super strong with gymnastics and built a lot of muscle, and I mean, he puts me to shame with that stuff. I'm still the better looking one, you know, and the smarter one. But, you know. Eddie just texted me now. He says, "You still pushed me, asshole." Asshole. Brotherly love.
Yeah, man.
Did you and your brother get along?
Yeah, from this side, I got a nice scar. Also, well, we did exactly the same thing as you and your brother.
Mm-hmm.
So we were running, and basically I was chasing him, and we had this garage door that you close down like that. So he ran to the house and he closed down the door, and I didn't saw the closing door. Yeah, so I got knocked out, and I basically like opened my eyes and I was like, okay, I'm fine. And I went to the house, and I just like I thought it was a sweat, but it was like my eyes, my full face was just like covered in blood.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I had to get some stitches, and you know my mom was super panicked. It was like a super open wound. It was like the entire roof here, yeah. But yeah, it healed up, so yeah, man. Good old days.
That reminds me of a story from when my dad and his brother were kids. So my dad is he was born in 57 and his younger brother was 61. So they're 4 years apart. And they were playing cowboys and Indians or bank robbers or cops and robbers or something in their backyard when they were growing up. Mm-hmm. And my dad, when he was a kid, they had a sliding plate glass door that led from like inside their house to the backyard. And so him and my uncle are running around, you know, like little boys do, chasing each other and trying to do whatever stupid shit they were doing. My dad runs inside, closes the plate glass door, but because it was so clean, he didn't see any like you couldn't see fingerprints or reflection or anything. My uncle goes, boom, runs right through it, gets his gaping cut right above his eyebrow, like you were talking about. And that was one of the many, many stories that my dad or my grandpa told me, or my dad told me about when they were growing up. There was another time where my dad stuck an axe into his leg. Like my grandparents were over at a neighbor's house or something, and my dad, being the way he was, started just trying to like chop wood in the backyard and missed the log, and the axe went right into like his shin.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So that's good. And he's going in for knee surgery on Monday too. So that'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah, there's so many good stories. I feel like I'm sure every family has those.
Lots of time. Lots of good times, man.
Yeah, buddy. Stein, kind of new to the world of pre-workouts. Why do I sweat like crazy when I take pre-workout? Stein, which pre-workout are you taking?
Yeah.
That might help because there's a bunch of different ingredients. But Lukasz, off the top of your head, I guess give him a rundown of what ingredients you think contribute to excessive sweating.
It can be a lot. Grains of paradise, definitely. Cayenne pepper. Basically all peppers.
Yeah. Yeah, Paradoxine Grains of Paradise would be a good one. If you see Capsamax or Capsaicin or Cayenne Pepper Extract, those are 3 names for basically the same thing.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't sweat that much nowadays. I don't know why. Even when I take like large amounts of grains of paradise or paradoxine,
Mm-hmm.
not at all.
Yeah. GBB could be another one that might have you sweating a little bit. Capsiatra, which is a relative of capsaicin.
Alpha yo, but
I was about to say alpha yohimbine can do
also
that.
sweats. Yeah,
You get a milligram and a half of that to 2 or 3 milligrams. That'll get you sweating. Even regular yohimbine, or if you get a yohimbi extract, that can make you sweat pretty crazy.
yeah.
Niacin flush, like you'll feel red. That doesn't necessarily mean
And
you won't
after that,
necessarily sweat, but you'll feel overheated.
my good friend has this thing with niacin that when he takes it, he gets the flush,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, he feels this discomfort, and then he sweats, but he sweats like tremendously a lot, and he can't stop. Just like
Interesting.
he's dripping basically. He can sit on his ass doing nothing, but at the same time he's dripping.
Weird.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Huh, I've never had that reaction before. Like I get the buzzing or like the itchy ears or something like that from niacin and beta alanine. I've never got the super intense sweats from it.
I had a funny story with my brother because
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago he bought niacin, the hot niacin pills, but he didn't bought the slow release, but
Mm-hmm.
the normal release, and he took like I believe he took 2 cups. I don't remember the dosage, but it wasn't small. And I'm downstairs doing my cardio, and he opens the door and is like, Lucas, Lucas, what's going on? And I'm like, what? Look, I'm red here and there. I'm like, my ears, what the fuck is going? And I'm like, dude, chill out. It's a niacin flush. It will go away.
Yeah.
And after like 30 minutes, it stopped. But he was so panicking, and I was like laughing my ass off.
Oh my goodness. I remember the first time I ever took BPI's 1MR Vortex. It wasn't the
Yeah.
DMAA version, but it had a shit ton of niacin in it. I'm sure it had a decent amount of yohimbine in it too. I mean, is BPI still around?
Yeah, they're still around.
I mean, I haven't seen anything on Stack from them in a while, or
The last thing that they did was the collaboration with Titan.
oh yeah, Mike O'Hearn. That's right. That's right.
That was the last thing that I saw from them. They signed with Rolly Winkler, but it was like maybe 2 or 3 months, and after that he dropped them, and I believe he went to Yamamoto or something. He's no longer affiliated with BPI, so
Weird.
that's basically what they're right now. So Michael Hearn.
I'm surprised why O'Hearn never has his own thing. Like I guess he tried to start it earlier, but it didn't. I'm not sure why you just go with BPI though.
I don't know the details, but I think that he had probably a good deal. And he also knows the guys from the BPI very very well.
Yeah.
I got in mind one person, but I'm not gonna shout out his name here. And that's probably why he decided to jump on that route and just launch his line through BPI.
Yeah. Ogenilo. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, I apologize. I'm gonna say Ogenilo. We're good with that. I see the 1MR Vortex at my local grocery outlet for like 12 miles. Yeah, I mean it's not a very stellar formula. If you look at it,
It was a proprietary blend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean this is let me pull it up. All right, BPR's 1MR Vortex. It's $26.99 on their website. The supplement facts panel. Wow. Okay, this is basically. I'm going to share this label because it's that bad.
Yeah.
All right. Is it displaying on there?
Oh, bro.
20 milligrams. So a gram is 1 scoop is 3 grams. Usually with flavoring, there's like a gram or 2 of flavoring stuff in there. So you're getting glycerol is monosterate, so that is at most 20% glycerol you're getting in there. Indigo ferropultra extract, caffeine anhydrous, white leadwort extract, and saccharidiga extract. So this is some really good tasting caffeine powder, essentially. Wow. And a bunch of niacin.
Honestly, I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah, you'd be better just to get a... Yikes.
Just like a good mushroom coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
Would be better.
Wow. Strength and power. Nope.
I'm still surprised it's around.
I mean, I don't remember. This is a different formula than the one I tried.
Honestly, I'm also like a bit surprised because I didn't saw this packaging. I remember the white packaging.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
Yeah, but they did, the labels. They redid them so many times that I just like lost my count.
Man. Okay, I'm curious to look up this indigo pultra extract because that's an ingredient I've actually never seen before. All right, let's see what we got. Indigo ferropultra extract contain antiplasmodium. Okay, what the hell is that?
Learning every day.
Yeah. Okay, so this is for fighting off malaria. Okay, well that's interesting.
Oh.
On gastromucosal damage and acid secretion in rats. That's super exciting. Huh. Yeah,
that's super exciting.
Yeah, I don't.
Rats, pre-workouts, yeah, that fits.
Yeah. Central nervous stimulatory action from the root of the plumbago xylanica in rats. The hell is plumbago xylanica? Is that one of the ones that's... Maybe that's white leadwort. Let's see what that is. Ceylon leadwort, Dr. Bush, or wild leadwort. Okay, so maybe this one does have some... It's got some dopaminergic activity in rats. That's interesting. Okay. Fascinating.
Yeah, that's honestly just fascinating, especially, in these pre-workouts, like back in the days, they were using stuff like this.
Yeah, and we haven't seen it. I haven't seen that used by anybody else. This white leadwort or wild leadwort, whichever way. I'm not sure if it's
Yeah, I was always a fan of Olympus Labs. They were like launching their formulas back in the days. If you remember, like they were always like coming with some innovative ingredients. They were always coming first, yeah, but they screwed up with the rebrands, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've touched on that a few times. That's I don't know if that was a good play. I mean, like I can understand what they were going for, but you got to be a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
Than a flat rip.
I guess missing a mark is a bad description.
Yeah, agreed. Let me see something. Sean from Subtalk Radio sent us a question. Let me pull this up. Would love to hear your thoughts on the show about Zembrin. Have you messed around much with Zembrin, Lukasz, or Kana-Ease?
Only Kana, but not solo. Only in mixes. I wanted to try it. We talked about it like last week. I think we touched on about this ingredient. It was used by I think right now with Glaxon is using it. But
I don't know. Like I know it was in the old version of C4 Ultimate, like the very first time that Cellucor released C4 Ultimate. It's in there. It's in Nootropomax by Performax Labs.
Max.
It's in. I've seen it in a couple of sleep aids too. Basically, it's a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it's used for a lot of anti-anxiety and stress benefits. So like anti-anxiety, anti-stress. It has a calming effect. I find it works really well for taking the edge off. So if anybody's ever messed around with Nootropomax from Performax, it's got a lot going on there. So it's 250 caffeine. It's got CDP choline in there. It's got huperzine. It's got Noopept in there. It's got Bacopa in there too. So it's a really stimulating thing. But the addition of the Kana-E's in there really helps kind of like refine it, hone it, take the edge off of it to make it a really, really solid nootropic experience, productivity stuff. So I like the ingredient. I have a bottle of it in the pantry over there. 25 milligram tablets. You can get NutriCost off Amazon. It's not too expensive or anything like that. I think you get 60 caps in the bottle, and it was maybe 15 or 20 bucks. I don't remember.
You mess with it solo, using Kana solo, or only in mixes?
Yeah, I've used it solo before, typically before bed, just to try and see if like, hey, will that give you a little bit deeper sleep? Maybe stacking that with something like a 5-HTP just to kind of see. So you got something like a serotonin precursor there, plus something that's a reuptake inhibitor. So you get longer lasting, more potent serotonin going on in there. You got to be careful with doing some of the like the SSRIs and 5-HTPs because you get serotonin too out of whack with dopamine, then you're actually feeling worse and you feel more depressive than actually. You feel more anxious, more depressed, all this other kind of stuff. It actually has the opposite effect. So you got to rotate these things and use them judiciously. But I like the ingredient. Do I always want it in a pre-workout? Probably not.
I wouldn't go with a pre-workout throughout the day. Sure, but not before my workout session.
No. Well, plus they have that thing like elevated serotonin levels increase central fatigue. So that's part of the reason like that you put dopamine precursors in a workout, because the longer you get into a training session, dopamine status gets depleted, and there's serotonin doesn't get depleted, typically stays high. So it might not be increasing serotonin levels, but because you're having that disparity where dopamine is dropping, you end up with an imbalance between serotonin and dopamine. And so that's why people say, hey, take BCAAs during your workout because that prevents the uptake of serotonin or tryptophan, which doesn't really work that way. Like in theory, yeah, sure, it's great. Does it actually work that way in practice? Probably not so much.
Speaking of BCAAs and pre-workouts, what is your take on that?
I think it is a filler meant that makes a bloated pre-workout. I think people just put it in there to make it seem like you have a bigger scoop size. We know enough now, I think, about BCAAs that they're not really conferring any acute benefit. Maybe if you're in like an endurance event, maybe like a 3-hour training session, like you're doing like some super long runs, but at that point, take EAAs, not just BCAAs.
Exactly.
Could it help with some anti-catabolic effects? Possibly. But I mean, even you could just take leucine on its own. In that case, you don't need valine and isoleucine.
Exactly.
There's some interesting research. I was talking with Steve Bleckman over at AML because he's hard on the anti-BCAA thing. So he's got leucine in his post-workout. But if you look at some of the research about diabetes and metabolic syndrome, you see there's some dysregulation or dysmetabolism of isoleucine and valine in particular. Like they find elevated levels. They're linking this to insulin resistance. Now, whether it's a chicken and egg thing, are these people having trouble metabolizing these specific amino acids, and that's why they're seeing elevated levels of them in the bloodstream, or is it the amino acids causing that? I'm of the belief that, look, people that are obese, diabetic, already have metabolic disorder going in there, metabolic, defunct metabolisms. And so their ability to properly uptake, metabolize these nutrients is impaired. So I don't really think it's necessarily the amino acids or, excessively consuming branch chains. Do I think that's going to make you become insulin resistant, diabetic, or obese? Absolutely not. But if you're already in that state, do I think adding more BCAAs to that could maybe exacerbate some issues? I think that's plausible.
Yeah.
So
I was never a fan of taking pre-workout like BCAAs, and plus when you see the formulas that already contain amino acids, this pisses me off big time.
Yeah, there's really no need to have like pre-caged, pre-gym. These products, you don't need to have BCAAs in there anymore. Does
E-
Nutrex still have BCAAs in
E-
there?
I don't remember, but
Let's see.
EHP Labs recently they did the collaboration with their athlete
Yeah.
Zach Perna, I believe it's his name. Please forgive me if I butcher your name, but yeah, the pre-workout is called Pride.
Hmm.
Consists of like there's like a decent amount of stimulants, but then the formula is messed up because it consists of like also BCAAs, and I'm like, dude, what's the point? Instead of like doing this stuff, just get rid of it and just like even add 100 milligrams of caffeine more or something or other stimulants, and that would be like way better option than like putting off aminos. If someone
Agreed.
wants aminos, just like he can add them by himself,
Correct. Or put it towards like citrulline, nitrosogene, taurine,
Yeah, man.
anything else.
Uh,
Outlift from Nutrex still does have the BCAAs in there. 3 grams of leucine, 1.5 grams each of isoleucine and valine.
Waste of
Okay.
space.
Well, I think the 150 milligrams of N-acetyl-L-tyrosine's a waste too. I think you need. I'm not a fan of NULT compared to regular L-tyrosine. But I mean, shit. If you're only going to put in 150, at least go up to like 500 if you can.
Yeah,
375.
yeah, that's the thing. I never understood this. It's just like the company when launching a pre-workout is trying to like, oh, take a look at my formula. I've got so many ingredients, but they're all pixie dust. Why like using? Let's focus on, for example, like 4 or 5 ingredients and build a formula based on these ingredients, but like fully dose them, out. So then you will have like a decent formula, rather than like putting, let's say, 20 compounds that have 100 milligrams each. It was like, makes no sense.
Agreed. Yeah. And so, I mean, Outlift, it's a decent formula. It's got 8 grams of citrulline malate, 3.2 beta alanine, 3 grams of Creapure. So, I mean, that's the maintenance dose, so that's fine. 2 grams of taurine, 350 caffeine, which is solid, 5 of bioperin, but then you have 150 of N-acetyl-L-tyrosine and 6 grams are wasted on the 3 BCAAs.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's my point. Get rid of BCAAs and add a bit more NLT, or just like get rid of like this compound, and you already have a way better formula.
agreed. Let's see. Yari. Is black tea bad before a workout? No. I mean, are you using that as your pre-workout, or are you worried? I guess, what's your concern with having the black tea before a workout? It's fine. I mean, sometimes I use coffee instead of a pre-workout as my pre-workout if I'm just, it depends on what I want that day.
I don't know if he's Turkish or not, but in Turkey, you drink a really rough black tea. So before you start the day, so maybe
It's a super potent thing.
Yeah, maybe
That's what,
he's from the region.
I wonder if there's any studies on black tea and exercise performance. Let's see. The effects of theaflavin-enriched black tea on muscle soreness, oxidative stress, inflammation, and endocrine responses to acute anaerobic interval training.
Oh.
Consumption of theaflavin-enriched black tea led to improved recovery and a reduction in oxidative stress and delayed onset muscle soreness responses to acute anaerobic intervals. How much were they drinking in this study? Here, we can do a screen share on this. Okay, there we go. All right, let me blow this up. Okay, so they were consuming 1.76 grams of black tea extract per day for 9 days.
That's not that much.
No.
But depends if it was like a pure powder, or they were using extract, or was it like tea bags or something.
Usually they'll tell you what the supplement is somewhere. Theaflavins, which are common in black tea, reduce oxidative stress, reduce inflammation, production of inflammatory cytokines. All right, supplementation. Black tea extract used in the study contained at least 40% theaflavins, including theaflavin, theaflavin-3 gallate, theaflavin-3 prime gallate,
so
theaflavin-3
powder.
gallate. Also contained approximately 30% catechins and total polyphenols exceeding 95%. So yeah, it's a fairly potent thing. Each 2 capsules serving the product contained 880 milligrams black tea extract and standardized for 350 milligrams theaflavins. Cool. So this is always what I wonder with these naturally occurring antioxidants. It's improving recovery, but is it blunting the beneficial adaptations, the hormetic response of exercise?
I think post workout can neglect the effects of the of the workout, and can like blunt the inflammation that is crucial. So I think post workout I wouldn't recommend taking antioxidants, but
yeah, well, I'm
before,
saying like don't mega dose them. So like don't take like 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C or vitamin E, or maybe even something like a greens powder. But what about something like just grapeseed extract or tart cherry extract? Taking that in the post workout period, or you take it as a pre workout too. I mean, because you're getting the beneficial things in there that are stimulating endothelial and nitric oxide synthase. So you're getting the benefits of increased blood flow, which could pay dividends for energy production and metabolite clearance. So are the benefits of that, is it more like the dose makes the poison, or you shouldn't, or is it the fact that they're natural versus the synthetic ones? So that's what
I see your point.
I'm curious about that.
I think the dose may make the poison. Same,
Yeah.
the same thing applies to berberine.
Yeah, that's very true.
So it also has like antioxidant proprietaries, and it can be used not only as a GDA, but also it can help like in longevity and many other aspects. But I saw a new study that showed that the berberine helps in longevity. So
it does.
Yeah.
Okay, follow up. I think theanine is relaxing. Yeah, but if you look at the actual theanine content of black tea, it's not as big. It's not as rich or prevalent in black tea as it is in something like matcha green tea, which has a higher theanine content to it. So the little amount of theanine that you're going to get in black tea, sure, it might calm a little bit of the stimulatory qualities of caffeine, but at the same time, are you somebody that's super sensitive to caffeine? Could it benefit you? I personally don't like theanine in my pre-workouts. Then again, some people might like it. Some people might need that calming to take that edge off because they might feel a little jittery or overstimulated from caffeine.
I only take half a dose of theanine like before bed. But that's like 500 milligrams. Knocks me out.
Yeah. I was talking to Gerhard a couple weeks back, and there's an energy drink that he was talking to me about. I can't remember the name of it. It's got 500 milligrams of theanine in it. But he says it doesn't make him feel tired or sleepy or anything.
Energy drink?
Yeah, it's an energy drink. It's got 500 milligrams of theanine in it. Gerhard, if you're watching this, I know he watches it sometimes. If you're watching this, let me know. Exactly. Oh, so now you can chime into the chat, Phil. You don't want to come on and refute the story of you tripping over the leg of the coffee table, which you can give me grief from the sidelines.
Phil, don't be shy. Come on.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
I'm the last person that speaks English, so you will be a perfect guest.
Nope. We social distancing. I haven't been doing that for a year. Although in my day-to-day life, I'm not getting all up in somebody's business anyway. I usually live if I'm close enough to where I can breathe on you, I don't live my life like that normally. If I'm within an arm's reach of anybody, that's probably, I wasn't living that way where I was breathing on down people's necks beforehand. So,
speaking of social distancing, today we are like free from masks. So till today, we don't have to wear masks outside. Yeah.
Were they enforcing it before? Like, would a policeman come up to you and say, "Stop, sir, you have to put it on"?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, when you were going out, when you were walking through the city, you need to wear a mask.
Forget that, man. Forget that. Like the police came out here in Texas and said, "Yeah, you can put these in. We're not wasting the manpower on this. We've actually got real crimes to stop. We've got real things to deal with." Yeah, it's just the two of us because Robbie is, eating bonbons on his sofa, and Shane got overtaken by the hobbits in Mordor apparently, and TJ's it's nap time for Grandpa Gonen. So
Shane is with his dude.
yeah, his dude, his bro.
He's gonna kill me for that.
Oh yeah, it's interesting.
Did you review this week something cool, something new from supplement?
Supplement you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, this week is like I haven't had any new stuff really. It's been I've had to do a lot of writing. Because this isn't, I don't think this is any earth breaking news. Like everybody knows NutriBio is coming out with a new line of like edgier supplements and things like that. So I'm part of the formulation team that was working on it, and the products are launching early next week. I don't want to give away the exact date, but I've been doing product pages for that this whole week. Plus, you and I had a couple of podcasts that we had to do, which will be released in the coming days. And I did an article on turkesterone versus ecdysterone for AML.
Currently, my favorite topic.
You talking about the phytoecdysteroids?
Turk, and that's yeah. Lots of people been asking about it. Lots of people been doing videos on YouTube and so on. It's like pure madness.
Yeah.
And also like nowadays, like this week, the Review Bros did a review on testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron, made a big statement because he used like I believe it was 2 tubs of it from supplements, and he did some massive gains around like 21 pounds or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people are saying it works.
I would also get those bottles third party tested too. You said he gained 20 pounds in 2 months?
Yeah, I think so. Since they were locked down till they reopened, so it took him a bit longer, probably 3-4 months, something like that.
I'd be curious for him to have a DEXA and to test those bottles, whatever brand he was using. I'm curious on that. I'm not saying the ingredient doesn't work. I'm just that if it's that aggressive of a bulk, I'm curious how much of that was muscle, how much of it was fat, and then what's actually in those capsules.
That's the one thing. And the other thing is that I saw some research that was made already on some testosterone products, and most of them were lacking in amounts that were on the label. So
yeah, we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so that's the other thing,
Yeah. Hey, Devin. Yeah, the scoop is getting smaller and smaller. Lucas and I are the diehards. Come hell or high water, we will be here. I even dealt with a migraine this morning. My ass is still here. More I can say for Robbie.
Last week we got $5, so probably saying we're for like shopping spree or something.
He went on vacation. He took that $5 and he ran away on vacation. Things are cheaper in New Zealand, This is the ultra concentrated version of the final scoop. The serving size.
For scoop. Yeah, man.
There we go. Yeah, I'd be skeptical of that too. Yeah, I don't know if it's 21 pounds of muscle.
Well, I'm sure it's not like pure 21 pounds of muscle, but some of them, it's definitely lean tissue, It's definitely some water, some.
There's gonna be some muscle, some fat, some water on there.
Yeah.
Ogenilo, yes, you can read the article. It is now in full transparency. AML does sell an ecdysterone supplement. But I've read the research independently of that. They approached me asking if I wanted to, because I did the initial write-up on their stuff about ecdysterone. but you can find it on the Advanced Molecular Labs website. Here, I'll show you. Just type in advancedmolecularlabs.com, and that'll be the first thing that comes up in their article section. So here we'll do a screen share.
Before my mom started chemo, she was taking azoxystrobin, but she was taking it due to the fact that I read up about it on the Russian research.
Yeah.
From Petersburg, and they said and they showed that azoxystrobin can handle cancer cells pretty nicely, especially when it comes to breast cancer.
Yeah.
And they did some good research. I read the entire paperwork before I put her on this dosage. So she started taking, like, I believe the first week was like only 300 milligrams, and we went up to 1 gram per day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it helped or not, but after the entire chemo and after her treatment, before the surgery, they did the USG scan and so on, and there was no cancer at all. But due to the fact that she had the harshest cancer, is the 3 minus, which
Mm-hmm.
is the baddest one, and it can cause the leakage. So that's why she had the it was leaking to the lymphatic glands.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be damaged. Doctors didn't know, so they had to, like, do the surgery.
Right.
I hope I made it.
Yeah, no, it's for the listeners, the ecdystone versus turkesterone. I go into some of the properties of what turkesterone does and some of the research that comparing turkesterone to ecdystone when they're doing cell cultures and rat studies and whatnot. Although anytime I write for a brand, a lot of these ingredients have anti-cancer effects, which turkesterone and ecdystone does. I'm not putting anti-cancer effects on the supplement brand's website, especially if my name's on the article. That's like rule number 1. You don't make any claims, and you avoid the C word at all costs.
Yeah, that's what I'm also, like, trying to avoid. And if someone is asking me what your mom was taking, what supplements, I always say, please be cautious. And it was just us, we decided to do it, and it was like, it was our decision because we had nothing to lose, basically.
Yeah.
So and in this kind of, like, treatments, if you go to your doctor and you ask him, oh, can I take azoxystrobin, he's gonna look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
There's only one correct treatment, and that is chemo. no other option. So yeah.
Yeah. Does melatonin have side effects? If you take too large of a dose, you'll wake up feeling pretty groggy. But melatonin's been pretty well studied. But the thing is, it's like its dosaging is highly variable. So it's been studied anywhere from 0.3 milligrams all the way up to 10 milligrams. And so you got to kind of find your own ideal dosage for your personal needs. Although sometimes, like, the biggest drawback is that you'll wake up feeling groggy in the morning. That's basically what the literature has identified as the only major drawback. Other than that, it's not like phenibut or something like that where it causes habituation, tolerance, insomnia, and those kind of things.
I don't know why, but I don't like the effects of phenibut.
No?
No, I'm not a super big fan of it. I took it for quite some time, but honestly, I rather, like, go with, like, 5 micrograms of, like, melatonin, and, like, add some GABA to it, and and on top of that, reishi and theanine, and I sleep like a baby.
Lights out. Do you ever have the thing where you take melatonin and you end up waking up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, just like wide awake? So like the melatonin's run through your system already?
No, but I sleep. I go to bed at the same time every day, and I wake up at the same time every day. I just, like, I work like a clockwork, basically.
Yeah.
I go before 9 to bed, and I wake up before 5 in the morning, and I just start my day. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've taken it. A lot of brands are starting to use the sustained release melatonin just to kind of like sidestep that issue where if you take it at 8 o'clock at night, you're not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
So that way you get to that. So I think Glaxon's sleep aid has a sustained release melatonin or delayed release melatonin in it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember if the Genius brand has it or not in their sleep aid. I know Sandy's used a couple of tubs of their sleep aid and she really likes it.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. They had melatonin. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
they also have 5-HTP, I believe, in their formula.
in Genius,
Yeah.
should know this. I mean, we've used it enough, and Devin was kind enough to send us a bottle. Let's see. It is 1 gram of glycine, 100 milligrams of L-theanine, 100 milligrams of ruticarpine, 100 milligrams of inositol, and 0.5 milligrams of melatonin.
Hmm. So no 5-HTP.
Mm-mm. Let's see. Glaxon's sleep aid. Glaxon Tranquility. Go.
I didn't try this one. I only had the older version, Serenity, I believe.
Yes. No, it's sedative.
Sedative. Oh, okay.
Serenity is their like their stress relief formula, which is pretty awesome. That one's pretty awesome.
Yeah, not bad.
Here's Glaxon's Tranquility, which I mean anything coming from Glaxon, Joey knows his shit. So you can rest assured this is going to be solid. 5 grams of glycine, which is a nice dose. Usually like 3 grams is what some of the research has shown. This is, above and beyond that. So there, getting some good astrolite. You're getting electrolytes, 750 milligrams of GABA, 200 theanine, 200 of choline, 150 of lactium, a casein decapeptide, which I'm not as familiar with that ingredient. I'm going to have to go dig through that one. Fibraria resica root, or resisa root. Here you go, the extended release melatonin.
Yeah.
There you go with that. Estrogen, celery seed, rafuma leaf as Venetron, spirulina, and huperzine. Which that's an interesting inclusion. I've always found that interesting that they put huperzine in their sleep aid.
Yeah, that's a good one. Spirulina probably is gonna work well with melatonin, so it's gonna help in release.
Yeah. Non-cholinergic effects of acetylcholinesterase beyond inhibition of acetylcholinesterase. I wonder if there's something about sleep in here. Regulating beta amyloid precursors. For cognitive deficits. Interesting. Let's do a search on that and see. Huperzine sleep. Reputation for increasing REM sleep. Huh. No. I hate all these pop-ups.
Fucking ads.
All right, here we go. Huperzine might offer benefits, has a reputation for increasing REM sleep and lucid dreaming. It's not been studied, presumably related to acetylcholine. Interesting. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, that's
microencapsulated milk. Yeah, no, they have a delayed release or a sustained release kind of thing. So they do they wrap it with something, some kind of liposome or some other kind of technology that makes it a more sustained release in the thing. Yari, opinion on the Venom Marvel movie? I have never seen it, and I know they've got a new one coming out too.
Carnage.
Yeah, with Carnage. Like I read the old Maximum Carnage graphic novel that they put out. I read through that 3 or 4 times when I was a kid. I played the video game, Maximum Carnage Super Nintendo game, which was awesome as a beat 'em up with Spider-Man. But I have not seen the Tom Hardy Venom movie, and I don't know if I'm going to see the other one either.
Fun fact: when I was super young, that was my favorite comic character.
Venom was.
Yeah, until this day, it's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, my brother liked him a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original Glaxon sleep formula did that to me. I take it at 8 and wake up at 4. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
did to me. I mean, I felt great when I took it. I mean, even if you only got 6 hours of sleep or something like that, because that's what I would take it at, maybe, I don't know, 11 at night, and I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would be like buzzing wide awake.
Sure.
I felt great. Yeah, I felt super sharp, even though I didn't get a full 8 hours of sleep or whatever. So, but yeah, that's when Glaxon, I've said this a bunch of times. When Glaxon first came out, I started looking at that formula. I was thinking that something seems just kind of, this is interesting. Like you line up all the clinical stuff and you say, well, it should be this, should be this, should be this, should be this, or I've seen it used as this, and they're coming out with these different dosages and numbers and everything. And then you try it, and then you realize, all right, these guys are just so. Anytime they release a label from now, I'm done questioning them. Joey knows. Joey is one of the sharpest guys in the industry. Yeah, so he knows what he's doing, and Mike and them, they run a good operation there.
You can like, for example, talk about the ingredients, but when it comes to, like, effectiveness and so on, the best way is just to like try it.
Yeah, especially when it comes to stuff like stimulants and nootropics and things like that. You got to be real careful, especially on the nootropic side. You go a little bit too much one way or the other, you're gonna put yourself into like either this depressive, anxious state, or super stimmed out, or brain fog, or it's you got to be very, very delicate with how you go dosing certain things.
Yeah, man, 100%.
So, Pete. Oh, here we had a question. So I don't know if this is going to affect you, Lukasz,
Shoot.
in Poland, but this is something Zandandito sent us. It was a link for, I don't know if you noticed, but all the NAC supplements, or the N-acetylcysteines,
Yeah,
Amazon took them all off, or kicked them all off, however you want to phrase it.
I've heard there was like a problem with them, but I don't know why.
Yeah, so this is the link that Paul sent me, and we can go through it with the listeners. Share video screen. Okay. Continue to cite. All right. The CRN, the Council for Responsible Nutrition, has responded to the FDA's sudden policy change on supplements containing N-acetylcysteine. So, Council for Responsible Nutrition has responded to FDA regarding recent warning letters from the agency alleging that N-acetylcysteine is not a dietary supplement and therefore prohibited from being marketed as such under the federal thing. Basically, the FDA came out and said we can't use N-acetylcysteine because it was originally listed as a drug back in the 60s. And so if you go by DSHEA, certain things could be grandfathered in, but certain things can't be. They're saying that NAC is no longer allowed to be grandfathered in. It was actually classified as a drug first. The CRN is disputing that. Amazon has taken a proactive step. Originally, they weren't allowing supplements that were used in combination. So like all the immune supplements that you started seeing coming out that had N-acetylcysteine in it, they weren't allowing that, but they were still allowing individual vendors like Nutricost and bulk supplements to sell, just NAC on its own. Well, those are all gone now. But if you go on to Nutricost's website, I think you can still get it on their website. Let's see. Can you still get it? Walmart's still selling it. So, and then Nutricost still has it there. So if you want to get your NAC, just go buy from their individual websites, but you can't get it on Amazon right now. I would assume you could still probably get it in stores too. I mean, shit, if
So
Walmart's still selling it.
it's probably just Amazon, because from what I've heard, they are like the first that's gonna drop the products.
Yeah, but I mean, you can go to Now Foods, you can go to Walmart. I like the ingredient. There's some really solid research on it, especially around liver health.
Probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I heard a podcast, and they were talking about NAC, and there's a new form of it. Maybe you probably heard it. It's also NAC, but it's like additional hydrolyzed form. I can't remember the full name of it, but
There's a
if
new
I will,
form of cysteine.
no, let me check.
I mean, what didn't help is that when people were coming, like, it's great for your immune system and liver health and all that, but then you had people saying it
The
inhibits
new
viruses and things like that, and that certainly
the
wasn't
new
helping keep it
form
around.
supposed the new form supposed to have a better absorption. That's why they advise to use it. But um,
That's what I'm just wondering, though. I mean, like, N-acetylcysteine doesn't really have that much bioavailability issues. Like, regular L-glutathione has worse bioavailability than NAC does. So are we just trying to, like, reinvent the wheel here? The same thing with, like, dihydroberberine. So, like, regular berberine is fine.
exactly, man.
Do we need to
Exactly.
re-engineer the wheel? So, I don't know. Is all of the master of iron creatine sold? No, I was talking to Steve about this yesterday. There's about 40 units left. So if you want to get some, we would appreciate the support.
40 units only.
It's about 40 units left of it. Yep.
Oh, that's great. That's
Thank
great
you.
to hear.
And we've got the pre-workout formula still in the works. There's one or two things that I'm deciding on, whether to remove, include, add, subtract. I don't know. That's the hard thing with this is, like, people say, hey, go do whatever you want to. And you almost get overwhelmed by the amount of things that you can do with it.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, how big and bloated do you want to make this? But then let's keep it reasonable for the consumer. And it's almost like you want to have some restrictions. Other side, like, because I don't know if you ever watch shows like Top Chef or any of those kind of things where, like, the final challenge is make the best meal of your life. And at that point, it's overload because you're thinking, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And so you got to not get as in your head about it and just cut it. And then that's why they make V2. That's what I love about doing the formulas with Robbie at Apollon is, like, hey, we cut this form. 6 months, we're going to do another one. And that's probably what we're going to end up doing with Massive Iron too. Is like, hey, we release this pre-workout, 6-8 months, we'll come out with a new formula. Maybe we'll keep a lot of some stuff. We'll remove some things, kind of like Glaxon's doing with their V1, V2 season. You have, just you
Yeah.
come up with good stuff. So, best Hollywood actor physiques: Sylvester Stallone, Rocky 4, game set match, or Schwarzenegger in Predator.
I don't know why, but I was always a fan of Jason Statham physique
Yeah.
in a transporter.
Yep.
That was a good one.
Hugh Jackman is up there with Wolverine, but I mean, go look at Stallone in Rambo 2 and Rocky 4, because those were, I think, shot within 12 months of each other. That dude he could have stepped on, like, a bodybuilding stage and been highly competitive.
Right now he's like what, 70 something,
Yeah,
and he still looks jacked, man. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see how old he is.
He could,
Sylvester Stallone,
he could whoop my ass for sure.
74. He was born in 1946. All right, let's see. Sylvester
Bro.
Stallone, Rocky 4. Images. All right, here we're gonna. I mean, just let's. Whoop! Come on. I mean, look at that. That. Good God.
God damn.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
he dies, he dies. The evolution.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it doesn't really get better. Best training montage in movie history.
So good.
Mm-hmm. It's cheating. Lou Ferrigno and Hercules. Yeah. I mean, you could say the same thing for Arnold, though. I mean, they were both professional bodybuilders that turned actors. Advantages and disadvantages of taking baking soda or sodium bicarbonate.
Have you used it for training?
I mean, yeah, so you could do sodium bicarb for training. The only thing is you have to use, what's the dose? Is a 0.5 gram per kilogram. So if you're a 70 kilogram athlete, you got to take 35 grams of it. Now you would space those apart, because if you take all 35 grams at once, man, you are going to be in the bathroom for quite a while. So that's the disadvantages, is the GI distress from it. But if you break it up over the course of a day and you kind of do some loading, it could have some benefits to, as far as fatigue enhancements. You're buffering some more of those ions that are generated during exercise. A good combination would probably be a combination of beta-alanine and baking soda. So beta-alanine is an intracellular buffer of carnosine, whereas baking soda is an extracellular buffer. So
Shane
look, Shane. Sorry, guys. Alarm did not go off. You're fired. You're fired, Shane. You're fired. Let's see. I wonder if he's gonna hop on or not. We'll give him a few more minutes, and we'll see.
Yeah, I just woke him. He's still got time. He can jump on.
He's gonna say no. Fuck that. I'm going to sleep.
The NOC form that I told you about
Mm-hmm.
is N-acetylcysteine ethyl ester.
All right. Let's see.
So the acronym is NACET.
Yeah. NAC ethyl ester as a GSH enhancer in human primary endothelial cells, a comparative study with other drugs.
Yeah.
Glutathione, GSH, interesting. Rixagy has very high concentrations, whereas it has failed in most things. Huh. Interesting. What dose are they? All right, so this is they're doing millimoles here. Let me get an actual study in human subjects. Superior properties of N-acetylcysteine ethyl ester. It's downloading the study. Give me a second. Over N-acetylcysteine to prevent retinal pigment epithelial cells oxidative damage. This is a 2021 study.
Yeah.
In conclusion, even if experiments in animal models are still needed, our data suggests that NACET may play an important role in preventing and treating retinal diseases associated with oxidative stress and may represent a valid and more effective alternative to NAC in therapeutic protocols in which NAC has already shown promising results. So they built a better mousetrap. Essentially. Either way, I mean, it's I don't know. I've got my NAC, and it seems to be working fine. My liver hasn't given up on me yet.
I got mine as well, but just letting you know, there's
another thing in there.
There's something new on the horizon. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, yeah. I wonder how this is going to stack up against Cetria, because that seems to be trying to gain some traction here. But from what I understand, that it's absurdly expensive, like most trademarked things are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are all. I wonder if there's any human studies on that. Chem, N-acetylcysteine ethyl ester. I can't even speak right now. Ergogenic.health. NAC by Thorn. Huh. There doesn't seem to be a ton of human studies out yet. It seems to be mostly cell cultures to this point, but retinal damage to epithelial cells. This is something to keep an eye on, though.
Yeah.
Drug candidates. S-nitroso N-acetylcysteine ethyl ester and based drug candidates with unique pharmacological profiles for oral use as nitric oxide, hydrogen sulfide, and glutathione suppliers, and as antioxidants. Review and results. Let's take a look at this one. Higher oral bioavailability exerts NO-related activities which can be utilized in urogenital tract and in the cardiovascular system. NACET with higher bioavailability is a strong antioxidant and abundant precursor of glutathione, unlike its free acid N-acetylcysteine. Interesting. So instead of taking, between 600 and 1,200 milligrams of N-acetylcysteine, maybe you only need to take, I don't know, 300 to 600.
Yeah.
Now when I walk in. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We will catch you next time on the Final Scoop.
Wait, where's Robic?
Fuck. You spent all the $5 for what?
Robbie is in North Carolina doing a bonbon event with Doug Miller and the Core Nutritionals Nutrition Corner people.
Did he not say that he would make some time?
He did.
He did, and then you know what? That double-crossing, backstabbing Russian KGB infiltrant.
I mean, I just slipped him. That's no excuse outside of I was just tired. I didn't even remember my alarm going off. So either I woke up and I just turned it off and didn't care. I don't know. Can't remember. I woke up and Nikki was like, "You missed it." Carved up Shane is not here.
Yeah.
Zero carb Shane. Depleted Shane.
Said something earlier saying that you were in a carb coma. You had too many carbs last night, and that's why you were passed out.
I have fucking none. Whoa.
Now when I walk into a store and I don't want the person working there to bother me, I'll ask if they have an asset. There you go. Yeah.
Yes,
We're
exactly.
talking about a new form of N-acetylcysteine, Shane, that's on the market.
What was it called?
Nasset.
N-acetylcysteine ethyl ester, an acid.
Oh, yeah. I like people bothering me in stores. I've told you this before.
We have. You go all in on the experience. You buy it hook, line, and sinker.
I don't buy it. Like, I just like people feeling good when you go into the store and they're like, "Hey, check out this," and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm feeling a little less energetic." They'll be like, "Oh, check this new supplement out, blah, blah, blah. Take it here, here, and here." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, really?" I'll even buy it sometimes.
You let them do the whole spiel, and then you just kind of walk out the store and say, "Thanks, I'm good."
No, I buy it. I'll be like, "Well, I'll get this. I like what you said."
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go and buy protein powder.
I like what you said.
What is the worst product somebody has tried to sell you in one of the stores?
From supplements category?
Pre-workout, a test booster, a muscle builder?
I think it's always like when you go in and you say you want to build muscle. Like, I've been to a store and I'm not gonna say the store, but I've been to a store and like I'll be like, "Oh, sort you out on protein powder." To do the whole thing to get the protein powder, the vitamin, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you want it?" And I'll be like, "I am looking for something to kind of help me build extra muscle." I was being stupid, but and then they'll be like, "Oh, you need to check out this," and it was like the test booster cabinet, like behind the glass thing.
You know, it had all kinds of stuff in it then.
Like the protein powder, I was kind of like, "Oh yeah, cool. They got a pretty good deal." They're more inclined to give you a better discount if you're nice to them.
Yeah.
You know, they're helping you out. You get the pre, and then you get to the like the shit that they were saying about these test boosters. I'm like, "Look, dude, I believe in this shit as much as the next guy, but no." like they just say, "Oh, you know," and they'll read off the label, like, because some test boosters like make some outrageous claims like boost your testosterone by 200%, and I'm like, "Look, dude, again, like, I'll just sit there, but I'm just like, you have to know what you're saying, right? You have to understand what's coming out of your mouth." But that's the one I don't buy. I'll just say, "Look," and even if you say, "Look, it's a bit out of my budget," they'll be like, "Oh, I could discount." I'm like, "Still out of my budget, bro. Still out of my budget. I ain't paying that." Some of those big retailers, they can charge some fucking ridiculous prices for those things.
Well, I remember we've touched on it before when Performix, not Performax, but Performix had that $180 test booster or something like that. I'm thinking you could get a cycle for cheaper than that, with the blood work included, probably.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get a nice attendant telling you how good it will help you and
That's true.
the benefits and everything.
Yeah. Liquid creatine. See, I don't have much experience in actual brick and mortar retail supplement shops. It's all my stuff was online purchases and being a nerd on PubMed. So I've never had the experience. Shane, we discussed this earlier. Let's get your thoughts because you're a movie guy. Best Hollywood actor physiques. Hugh Jackman, do you think is it?
I did not like Hugh Jackman. He was ripped, but
Wolverine.
He looked really like thin and tall. He looked ripped, but he didn't look very big.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as physiques go, you kind of got to say The Rock, right?
Yeah, but besides Rock.
That's my thing. Mine was Rocky 4. Sylvester Stallone in Rocky 4.
No, not Rocky. The Rock.
No, but I'm saying like my favorite physique is Sylvester Stallone in Rocky 4 when he's facing Drago. I mean that your boy is lean, ripped, and muscular.
And I said Jason Statham in Transporter.
What?
What about
not a physique? It's just an average dude.
Bro, come on.
I mean, he's ripped barely, but
he might be the most natty of
come
them.
on, man.
He's probably the only one that's not on a little bit of special sauce, though.
You know, this is just as much as me, though. Like, most of the guys that are natty sometimes aren't. So he probably blew his load on that movie and was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get huge. And this was back before The Rock, so he probably didn't know what he was doing. And then The Rock comes along, and he's like, oh, fuck, I am tiny.
Well, comparing it to Rock, he is tiny, but, we are talking more about an aesthetic standpoint.
What about Marky Mark?
Yeah. Even The Rock is this more aesthetic than Jason Statham just looked like a regular dude. He just looked like a regular dude. I mean, yeah, he kicked ass, albeit his, martial arts much better than The Rock's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's no comparison.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about looks. I'm torn. The Rock is just the go-to because I remember seeing him when we were standing next to Phil, and I know that it's like height difference plays a lot, but I mean, he made Phil look pretty small, but that was obviously because bodybuilders when they're like on stage or ready in clothes don't just kind of look like normal people. Yeah. And then they peel it off and it's just legit a fucking statue. But The Rock is just a big dude. I'm trying to think of anyone else.
That's the thing. There's no major action movie stars today. The Rock is the closest thing we have, the 80s action guys of Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme.
Yeah. Please don't say Chuck Norris.
Dude, Chuck Norris. I mean, he wasn't a big ripped dude, but
I'm not gonna lie. He's no different from Jason Statham.
You don't fuck with Walker Texas Ranger, man. You don't mess with him.
Don't mess with Chuck.
Raspberry ketones, man. You can feel the raspberry ketones working. You just smell them and you start losing fat. It's amazing.
I think I can't come.
Some brands are still using it, but from what I've heard, for flavoring purposes, basically nowadays.
It's interesting.
Yeah. If you got a bad tasting formula, add some raspberry ketones, and it can help enhance the flavor.
Interesting.
Assassin V7.
Raspberry ketone. That'll be in the other ingredients section. We're not going to actually list how much is going to be.
No. We need full transparency. Thank you very much. We need full transparency.
Boom.
Everything will be raspberry flavored.
Raspberry, yeah. There we go. 3 grams of raspberry ketones. We're going to have 8 grams of citrulline, 3 grams of raspberry ketones, and then 4,000
milk. You'll have raspberry lemonade, raspberry cherry, raspberry watermelon,
raspberry kiwi, everything.
Or you can go other route. You can do ketone melon, ketone.
Rice and spaghetti are highly processed foods. I wouldn't say highly processed. I mean, they're less processed than Gorton's fish sticks or something.
What do you mean processed?
I mean, everything is processed to one degree or another. Unless you're going, you go out and you kill a moose in the wilderness, you still got to process it.
Maybe he grows his potatoes.
Right,
Yeah,
but you
well,
still have to
man,
process
like,
them. Like you got to peel them and boiling. That's all part of the processing stuff.
what he's trying to
maybe
say,
it means the
what
packet.
he's trying to do with this rice, you just cook the rice, and that's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, they take it, they strip off the hull, the brown, the fiber component of it. But I mean, rice isn't a substantial source of fiber anyway. It's an easily digestible carb source, unless you're Shane. It works really well for people, unless you're Shane.
Don't get me started.
No, I think rice is perfectly fine. What do you enjoy eating more, Yari? I mean, you could do all three of them. There's nothing wrong in the context of an otherwise healthy diet of including a serving or two of rice or spaghetti during the day. I wouldn't say a potato is outright healthier. In the context of an otherwise healthy diet, a diverse diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, all that good stuff, I don't think you need to worry about it. I eat rice every day. I enjoy it. It's delicious. Shane would eat it, but then he's Shane.
I was still torn because when my doctor told me, he was like, "Look, you're either allergic or you got the other thing," which seemed a little more normal. I was just like, "Well, how do I tell?" And he was like, "Well, you could try and eat other food similar to rice and see if you get the same reaction." I was like, "Yeah, but I feel like shit." And he was like, "Well, just don't eat rice then." I was like, "Okay, I like your idea." So, I'm not eating rice. And I'm feeling a lot better. But it was pretty fucking ridiculous. Because I told you guys, I thought it was the pre. That was the first thing. And to be honest, the only reason I started eating rice again was because you motherfuckers said, "Oh, put more variety in your diet." That's why I did it. I was like, I haven't had rice in like 7 years. I may as well try it again. Fucking threw it in. And then I was like, getting the shakes in the workout. And I thought it was a high stem pre.
How much rice were you having though? Like you went from not having it for 7 years to how big of a serving? So like if you like titrated, like you had a half cup of rice and then you worked your way up to a full cup.
See, this is the thing. Your body is not complicated, right? People always say this to me when they say, "You should try this one. You should do this one. Maybe you're doing this." It's not complicated, bro. I could have another serving of oats. I could have another serving of pasta. I could have another serving of bread. And it's not going to have any fucking difference whatsoever. I added the same amount of rice and oats that I have in the morning or any other time of day in my second meal. And then I was getting jittery as fuck, and I thought it would subside. And then as days went by and the more times I had that rice at that same time, I was getting worse and worse. And when I was going to the gym, again, I thought it was the pre-workout. I just thought it was the stims. My hands were shaking. I was sweaty as fuck. I was getting dizzy. I was getting headaches. And I was just getting so weak. It wasn't necessarily like weak as in my strength wasn't there. I could lift the same weight, but it's very difficult to try and lift it when you're shaking.
Right.
It did feel like an overstimulation. It felt like if you had too much yohimbine or too much caffeine, but worse, you were just jittering from the start. So it felt very difficult to get under a weight and kind of control it. And then after a while, I was like, so I changed the pre-workout 3 times, and I was like, it's not the fucking pre-workout.
Yeah.
And then it hit me, I was like, it's the fucking rice again. So then I switched it out and been gradually getting much, much better.
What style rice? Like, was it just regular long grain rice? Was it jasmine rice, basmati? Have you tried like mixing
long grain.
the different? Maybe try
but I've done
basmati.
I've done back in the day when I had the problem originally. I did white, and then I switched to brown, and then I switched to the jasmine rice. This was way back, and that's when I was like, because I had that in the house, and I was like, maybe it's the white type of rice, and I was like, nope, same fucking thing. So I just dropped it all together, and I've been doing the strangest meal ever is oats, chicken, and egg.
That sounds.
And I'm not gonna lie.
Horrid.
I really like it. I don't know why.
I mean, everybody's got their thing. I like vegetables and rice. You like oats and eggs.
Hold on. You eat like raw oats, or you cook the oats?
I cook the fucking oats.
Okay.
Am I dusting my cooked chicken and raw oats? What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's oatmeal crusted chicken. You're making chicken tenders.
This isn't Jason Statham here, okay? This is fucking.
Bro, hold on. I'm asking because my friend eats raw oats.
It's gross. That's gross.
What does he live in the fucking jungle? What's wrong with him?
That's how he eats. That's how he likes it.
Well, okay, I feel too bad then.
So yeah, man.
No, I did cook it up, put some chicken in and some egg, and then it actually goes really nice together. But I don't have a choice because, I mean, I don't really have any other carb sauce that I like. I might try the sweet potato this week though.
Oh yeah. Finally.
But
Sweet potatoes are good. Those are delicious. I mean, you just sprinkle a little cinnamon on them, roast them in the oven for like an hour. Whew, man, it's like dessert. You don't even need to add maple syrup, brown
Next
sugar, or
what do I
anything.
do?
Next
Look at
week,
what-
I'm gonna say Lucas fucked my diet up.
no, but see, the weirdest thing is that I can sporadically have shit here and there, right?
Mhm.
I can have, like, I've had rice outside of my regular diet before, whether I go out for dinner or whatever, and I haven't had a problem.
Mm.
But and even the first day that I had rice last week, zero problem. It wasn't until I started having it, like, on the second, third, fourth days that it really started getting fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, it didn't make sense to me. But I know that when I stopped doing it, I was just fine. So, yeah, I'll try sweet potato. Dickie does it, but I'm not fucking spending an hour cooking that shit. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Just throw it in the oven and then you go walk away and do whatever you need to do.
No, because look,
Microwave.
I cook things for like 10, 15 minutes, and if I
Microwave
forget,
this shit.
Then you can microwave it. That's fine too.
yeah, I forget shit in like 10, 15 minutes. What do you think's gonna happen in an hour?
Like this podcast, you forgot this. But we understand.
Yeah, and this was 6 hours away. Shit happens.
The best Hollywood physique would be Christian Bale as the emaciated machinist. Yep, that's
Nice.
that's in
Not
the
far
running.
off Jason. Not far off Jason Statham.
I knew that was coming. Does one build a tolerance to nootropics like caffeine? Yes, you can. Certain ingredients, I would say yes. You start to lose the pop. Some things like phenylpiracetam. You want to cycle your nootropics. Certain ones, like things like Bacopa, you can take every day because their effects compound over time. But other things, it's a good idea to cycle them. So huperzine, phenylpiracetam, any of the super aggressive racetams, adrafinil, modafinil, you don't want to take those things day after day after day. And Shane, you missed all the news nuggets we were dropping. We're teasing some big releases coming from Apollon.
So much.
Bullshit, you did. Robert's
No,
not
we-
even
we-
here. You probably took a giant dump on him for being like fucking not showing up. I
Shane,
would have too.
did you heard about the sales that the Massive Iron did?
The what?
Sales of the products that Massive Iron did. Robert,
What? So, who?
No,
Oh,
somebody,
Massive Iron.
Yari asked earlier. I said there's about 40 units left.
Oh,
Oh,
that's not bad.
yeah, that's
our boys,
it's going.
our
Means
boys
it's,
growing.
means it's going to be time to get the next run of it started and cut loose
Yeah,
the pre-workout formula.
Get the next run, then a pre-workout, then it's the hose, then it's the fucking cars, and then it's
Gonna be sending you pictures of me on my Lambo and everything, man. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be too
spiraling
big.
out. Yeah.
I'm gonna retire from this podcast forever and go just sell out completely.
And then
Prop
we're gonna
ones
get
for
a
life.
test. We're gonna get a test booster.
Yeah,
Retailing with
Massive test.
$250.
we call it massive testes.
Massive balls.
Massive balls.
Massive
There we
balls.
go.
Yeah.
We were talking about this yesterday on the live I was doing with Steve. We were trying to figure out the name for the joint formula. Do we want to call it massive joint or massive flex? Which one sounds better?
I mean,
Go with maybe different name.
I
Massive
missed it.
bones. Massive bones.
Massive bones.
Massive
gonna-
tissue. Massive
Oh.
tissues.
Massive tissues. Massive cartilage.
Ligaments.
Massive ligaments.
Fuck that.
There we go. Yeah, we're gonna Lambo, Ferrari. We'll get all that. We'll get a McLaren too.
Whoa. I mean, you only need one car. You don't get that many cars. Settle down.
Wait, if I'm a mega millionaire, what does it matter? Like going back to our conversation we had 3 weeks ago, you said it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's going to be the same as just buying like a new Honda Civic with all the money I'm going to be raking in, right?
Yeah, you're not going to be getting that much money. You're going to get. I mean, I think you got to be selling a little more than 2-3 supplements to be getting. We need some diet tea. We need some
Detox teas. We need that.
then we can get into the Psalms and some
liver
hormones. Yeah, that's what we.
Massive
Then,
detox.
yeah,
We'll call it massive shit. And that'll be the detox formula.
Mm-hmm.
Call it massive shit.
yep. And then you call your test booster massive dick. And sales will go through the roof.
Massive load. Massive load. That.
I like the SARM. I like the SARM approach.
Yeah. Then you might be getting some cars.
There we go.
With SARMs, for sure, man.
Oh man. Oh, my face hurts. When is the Stack 3D Expo, Shane? I know you've been dropping little nuggets of it.
It's a month away. Huh. It's 4 weeks away.
It is. So June 15th is when it starts?
June 14th.
June, not July.
14th.
Not bad.
It is 4 weeks, huh?
How many brands you got already? Like 30 or?
Oh, we sold out. So I think it's like 48, 50.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. That's
So you
cool.
only have I only set a maximum of we have groups. I think it's 12 per group.
Yeah.
Because when you get more than that, it just gets ridiculous.
Crowded.
It's just like originally I was like, oh, it's an online expo, won't be a problem. And then when you start going through like 10 brands per group, or 12 brands, you start to realize that if you're reading each of these brands, it'd take you like a fucking hour to get through all this shit. So I was like, let's just cut it off here. Let's just cut it off at the 4 of 12 and then maybe a little more. So yeah, we sold out. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I mean, we might be able to make room if someone's important, but I don't know. Because someone from Glambia reached out about information at the expo, and I was like, guys,
That's cool.
You're going to be too late. But then we would get other brands reaching out too to say, oh, can we get more information? And I was like, look, man, you need to follow the whole time. Because I announced this 14 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, not much you can do.
But
I mean,
Apollon,
that speaks to the credibility of Stacked. I mean, if you're getting Glanbia reaching out and those brands that want to do it, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Glambia is the hardest brand to. I've never ever had a consistent contact at Glambia.
Yeah.
Like I could name it maybe one person at every brand.
Mm-hmm.
My protein's a little different because my protein has like people in the UK, people in the US, but I'll have someone in at least every brand that I share. But Glambia I've had people I talk to, and then they're gone the next week, or they're in a different position, or like I'll email them and they'll be like, oh, hey, so-and-so's gone. And I'm like, fuck. And I was like, you can reach out to this person. And then by the time I need that person to reach out to them, oh, they're gone, or they've changed. And I'm like, fucking hell. But I just assume it's because they're a giant company.
That happened with me with Nutrex about a year ago when I was trying to go through some stuff. I had done some content for them, and I kept trying to get a contact because there was an outstanding invoice, and it was like this person left, and then the next person got shifted to, and we were trying to work on some other content plans, and there was
Nutrex,
3 or 4 people that I lost.
I had a couple contacts there. But yeah, I remember when I was at Body Power in the UK, and I rolled up, and they launched BSN launched a new bar or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, hey, I'm from Stack. Do you reckon I could get a close-up photo of the new bar? And they're like, yeah, sure. And he's like, wait, did you say you're from Stack? And this guy was Irish, full-on accent and everything.
Oh, damn.
He's OG Glambia. He's from the heart of Glambia. He's like, you said you're from Stack? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, my God. The entire office loves you. And I was like, the fuck? And I was like, no one's ever spoken to me before. And he's like, no, but we all watch it. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet.
Cool.
And he's like, take a box or two.
That works.
Like, okay. I don't like taking boxes to expos though.
Have I seen G Shred's Lambo? No, I have not.
No.
No, I don't watch any of Doucette's stuff. I just hear whispers of what goes on. I don't really watch much YouTube fitness.
He asked about Greg. Say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw it on Instagram, I think.
No,
Yeah,
those $1,000 training plans in that overpriced cookbook must be doing pretty well.
I saw it on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been waiting for him to share an update on his fucking supplement brand. I haven't heard shit.
No, I don't know what's up.
No info.
Because he said ages ago that he's been working on it, so I was like, I guess I gotta follow him if he's coming out with a brand.
Yeah, but due to the shortage of the ingredients, and plus, Canada is now, closed. He's probably limited. That's why he's not releasing anything yet.
Yeah, but see, this is a pet peeve of mine. If it's like, if it's slowed, then maybe you should say.
Yeah, I know.
It's been delayed by so and so.
Yeah.
Very few things annoy me. That's one of them.
He definitely should announce something, and like make a comment or something. But yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get.
I think it's that hard.
Yeah, it's not.
Would it be worth? I mean, do you think it's worth it for him to even jump into the industry though?
He said he's going to make the best brand ever.
We've heard this 1,000 times before, though. I mean,
game-changing formulas.
Yeah.
We've heard best, game-changing. There is no single best. I mean, you've got a lot of really quality brands out there, so.
He's going to do the best brand. He said he's going to whoop Massive Iron's ass.
He's got a much bigger following than I do, or Steve, or me and Steve combined.
Just a little bit.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
He's got some zealots. He's got some zealots and actual fanatics. So. You are welcome, Yari. Yeah, thank you for always tuning in. If you guys got any other comments or questions, we'll be on for a little while longer, and then
I appreciate
have to jump
the
off
comment.
and
Thank you.
We got to clean the house, and because we have some afternoon appointments to run.
I'm glad I could be here for this episode.
Shane was the longest.
I'm much more awake now because I had an extra hour or two sleep, so it's good.
Oh, there we go.
That's what happens.
What was I going to say? Do we have any other questions that we haven't addressed yet from the queue of stuff? Let's see. Okay, we covered that.
Is Robic fired? Yes.
Is that a question? Or is that a question in the clip? Oh, serious.
Well, I mean, it's just worse that last week he said specifically
he will make time for us.
Yeah. But you don't know. Maybe he's found he had a really good time at the show. Maybe maybe there was an international buyer who was like, I'm going to buy 10 million units. And he's like, well, fuck the podcast. I got to make time for this.
I'm going to spend money on that.
I mean, we obviously make more money for Robbie, clearly, than going to meet at these little supplement expos.
I mean, just so you know, did we get any donations this week?
No. If you would have been on earlier, you would have seen that we got a lot. Hence my comment about us going by some Lambos.
Yeah, I'm sure it was rolling in when I wasn't here.
Yeah, man.
It was actually our highest ratings ever. Without you and Robbie, man, me and Lukasz were crushing it.
So much cash was coming.
The fact that you're exaggerating this much must mean that it was worse.
Robert was talking and I was just knocking my head.
We were citing some embarrassing stories from childhood about between me and my brother, and I still remain that he tripped over the coffee table leg. I did not push him into it.
I remember when I was a kid, my brother. I don't talk to my brother anymore, but he was. I think he was 10. Me and my friend. No, he's younger than that. I think I was 10. Me and my friend were at home, and we were running around, and he was running into the inside. I think we were playing ball tag or something. And then my friend closed the sliding door on him. Ball taggy? Do you know or ball tag? Sorry, you might call it tag. You know tag when you tag someone and they run away and you tag
run and you
else?
tag them with your hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it was that we play it with a ball. So
okay, so you just go and you chuck it at him and you try to hit the shit out of him with it.
Yep. If
Okay.
you miss, does not a tag. If you get them, it's a tag, and then they go chase you.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I
like that.
And we're running around. I mean, it can get pretty bad because you throw the ball really close, you throw it really far. There's no rules.
Yeah.
Just throw it. And he was running towards the sliding door, and my friend closed the door, and then we ran, and my brother mustn't have seen it. Or
Same story I told Lucas about my dad and his uncle.
he mustn't have seen it, and then like he must lifted his eyes up, and then he saw it, and then he put his hand out, and he just went straight through the door.
Yeah.
And just had a scar like right down his arm, and we were just like, dude, the door was closed. What the fuck's wrong with you? I was like, damn. I mean, but to be honest, if you run, I don't think he thought the door was going to shatter. I think he ran to just like tap it and be like, damn it.
Yeah.
But went right through. We were poor, so I can't imagine the glass being super thick anyway.
Not the double pane soundproof glass or anything.
No. That's what replaced it, but this glass was from the 70s, so.
There we go. That's what I said. My dad and his brother, when they were kids, were playing Cowboys and Indians or Cops and Robbers or something, and my dad ran in the house, closed the sliding glass door, and then, 3.5 seconds later, my uncle comes charging through and runs and gets this big old cut right above his eyelid and everything from the glass. So, yeah, it was stupid things kids do, but it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun.
But you need to do these things. See, I go off this rule because my sister said to me, like, I'd see her kid like climbing on top of a chair, and like, you should probably get down. And my sister always says, she's like, he'll only do it once, right?
Yeah.
And
she'll learn.
on that occasion, it turned out pretty bad. He was like spinning around the chair, and I was like, you should probably get off and he's on top of the chair, and then it tips, and then it's quite a fat chair, and then it kind of landed on the ground, but it whiplashed, and the ground was cement, and he like you saw this whiplash on the ground. And I was like, oh, he didn't hit it. And then like he gets up, he starts crying. I was like, oh, he's just crying because he's shocked. And then my sister's like, oh yeah, he's okay. And then like a minute later, his entire forehead had like little dots, like, and I was like, oh shit, he did hit it. It was just really fast.
Oh my god.
And then like I was like, fuck. So I kind of live by that story with my daughter. I'm like, look, she only gonna do it once, but she's fucking walking along a tower like 30 feet tall. No, she ain't doing that once. She's never doing it again. Get the fuck off, bro. I don't want you smoking yourself. Some dumb
I just
shit.
love that you call your daughter bro and dude.
Dude,
I've been dealing with that. I said that to Nikki. I was like, she says it's not that weird, but I think it's the reference to bro and dude that's weird. I didn't know I did it.
sometimes when you say it, it's so funny, especially when it's like when you are like referring to something, or when you are like telling it in a story, and you're like, bro, dude.
I didn't even know I did it.
Don't change it. I think it's awesome. But yeah,
that's
I mean,
awesome.
that's what you need to do. Like, you can't like be all mamby-pamby with your kids. You got to let them fuck themselves up at least somewhat, or else, that's how they learn not to do stuff. I mean, obviously, you don't let them stick their hand into like a 350-degree oven or something like that, or 170 degrees Celsius for you people that use that Celsius metric or whatever it is.
Everyone else in the world aside from America, the metric that you guys use. Don't even get me started on that shit.
Well, I don't
You
think
switch the date around. You change the degrees. You change. The other thing I don't understand is that it's like, because most people measure in mils. You guys measure mils, and then to a certain extent it changes into ounces. But the smaller version of ounces is not mils. Mils goes into liters. It's mils liters, not mils ounces. So you just be like, you know what? Let's just change, because how many mils is in an ounce? Tell me. Not many
28?
people fucking know.
28?
There's no way it's 28.
28
Is it?
milliliters in an ounce? Well, there's 28 grams in an
I don't
ounce, and
actually
isn't 1
fucking know.
gram 1 milliliter?
You could look it up.
Wait,
But is
what?
that, see, the metric system, how many mils in a liter? Fucking 1,000. Easy.
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 Yeah.
Not this 28, there's 1.6 bullshit.
Fucking easy math.
What was a real pain in the ass was going through fucking engineering classes in college. We had to do everything both ways. So we had to learn how to do the stuff in the SI units and in the metric units. So that was a pain in the ass. Like you're converting like ounces and pounds to Newton meters and then going back and forth between Kelvin, Rankine, Fahrenheit, Celsius, all this other shit. It was miserable because the professors would give you something in like the English standard units and then they would say, do this in metric. And so you have to do all these conversions. It adds in like another 15 minutes to the problem to do all of this stuff. I hated doing that.
Yeah, the other one that bugs me, and it is just a first world, like, white boy problem, like, stupid as shit. It's not even a white boy problem. Because when I go to the UK, no matter what country I go to, I say dollars, right? Because dollars to me, and even when I was in Europe or other parts, I say, $20. You just say dollars.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the UK, they're like, it's not a dollar, it's a pound. And I'll be at so many stores, and they would correct me, and I'd be like, "Oh, is it $20?" And they're like, "You mean 20 pounds?" And I'm like, "Oh, like I get it, it's their currency," but I'm just so used to because even in Australia, in the US, you say dollars, Canada dollars. To me, it's not necessarily like interchangeable. I know that I would still say UK dollars, Polish dollars. I wouldn't say. I know the currency is not dollars in every country, but I've always thought of money as dollars, not dollars as the name of the currency. And so many countries use it. I cannot kick that habit. But in the UK, they specifically correct you. Not in Poland, they don't. It'd be like, I'll take your fucking $20. You give me whatever you want.
$20? Or in Poland, there's like twice as much money. So
yeah, like they don't correct you. They don't really. Just the UK was the only one, and no matter how many times people told me, I still fucked it up.
Winning in the lottery.
I would
What is the Polish currency called?
Zloty.
Yeah, zloty.
Zloty. Okay.
Always zloty.
The one that throws me is the krona. Like because there are so many. There are a couple of countries that. Yeah, but then what's the Czech one?
It's also Corona. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a different one.
Yeah, but in Czech Republic they got two currencies. They got euros and they got Czech Krona. So you can
I know. Because isn't there another krona? Isn't Norway or isn't another one krona? I know.
Norway, and also Danish Corona is also.
Yeah. Flips you out because you're like, oh, krona must be the same krona. No, it's not.
No,
it's a different one.
That's got to be confusing. Now I see why they all tried to go to the euros. That makes a lot more sense.
Especially when you're going around saying dollars in every country.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest currency is probably pounds, because you have all these coins. Fucking insane.
How many pence and quid and
how many coins?
No. The UK isn't too bad. America and their 1 cent coin is the weirdest thing I've ever seen because we used to have a 1 cent coin in New Zealand. We got rid of it in the 70s because it was pointless, right?
Yeah.
And it's like maybe back before inflation, but in the US, like when something's like that, $5.99, they still give you the 1 cent. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? I'm going to go buy something for 100 pennies.
Well, then they have that little like leave a penny, take a penny jar next to the checkout register. And put it there.
So you just put it in. I always do that. I drop, but I'm like, you can't. It's just, I was like, just drop it, guys. Just let it go. Just move down to a 5. What is it? The dime? Is it the 5?
We have the penny. We have the nickel, which is 5 cents. We have the dime, which is 10 cents. We got the quarter, which is 25 cents. You got the $half, which is 50 cents.
So we used to have we had a 1, a 2, a 5, a 10, a 20, and a 50-cent piece in New Zealand. We dropped the 1 and the 2 like 40 years ago, and then we dropped the 5 10 years ago. So the harder one outside of that I think is Japan, because you would think when they do thousands yen, they're yen. They still do small coins. And I'm just like, look, I'm just going to deal in the yen, guys. You want to give me coins? I just put them all in my pocket and save them up. I'm not going to bother count this shit.
Oh, man.
Oh,
He did pay. Oh no, he's back.
yeah.
Yes,
I thought he didn't pay for the internet.
no. He saved his pennies. I still have I have a jar here of every coin from every country. Not every coin, but I would always have like $150 left over, $100 left over from every country. So I just put it into a big pot. I still have my Polish money because I remember when I went to Poland. I remember when I went.
You only got coins, or you got also the paper?
I have notes as well.
Yeah.
It's just because Poland is the one that I went to, and I got out a bit of cash, but I didn't think it was going to be as cheap as it was.
Yeah.
So I had left over. But then I go in reverse, and I also have leftovers from like the likes of like Denmark, because shit's crazy expensive, and you kind of just you just have money left over because you didn't realize it was going to be that expensive. I'll see if pretty sure I have my zloty.
Zloty? Is that the Polish money?
He's looking
It's
for
some. I got this.
Hey, there we go.
I still have
Got that American money.
and this
burn that shit up.
a buttload of this.
$1
$1.
bills. What's going on, Chris? Thanks for joining us.
Oh no, that's Krona. That's Sweden.
had,
right. Denmark, Krona.
We
Norway,
had
Krona. Fuck it, Jesus.
we had Confederate money. So when the U.S. had its Civil War, they had the Union and the Confederacy.
Yeah.
We had some Confederate money because you go back, you trace back like my dad's side of the family back enough. Like his mom's maiden name was Davis. We traced it back to Jefferson Davis, who was the I probably shouldn't even be saying this. I'll probably end up getting canceled for being related to the Davis line, if that was the president of the Confederacy way back in the Civil War days. The halfling is alive.
Mine might be, but
Robert went to silent mode.
Gonna have to.
I must have spent all my zloty. I must only have the coins.
Spend it all. Probably.
I'm saving it. I'm saving it for when I go back.
Yeah, man, you need to. But when you, I hope when you get back, we're still gonna have this currency because Euro's gonna fuck us up big time.
Oh man, it would be great if you guys got euros. I got some of that. That's way better.
That won't be good. That won't be good for our like.
I don't want to be mean, and it might mess up your economy, but it'll be so much easier for me.
Bro, it's gonna mess up everything.
It would just make my life way easier. Just so you know.
Now you're saying this, but when you come here and you're gonna like pay for stuff, then you're gonna say,
this shit get more expensive.
Oh.
No. In that case, keep this lottery, please.
That's what I'm saying.
Because Poland has the most cost-effective McDonald's in the world.
Oh yeah. This is probably
Surprisingly.
What do you mean? Is like the cheapest?
No, like you just get like great bang for your buck.
Like, do you get extra food or something? Like, what do you mean?
No, like just the meals are a lot. Like I don't know. Let's just say we're talking a level dollar amount. $10 in America would buy you a good amount of McDonald's. In New Zealand, you'd probably have to spend 20 to 25 of the same currency to get that, maybe thereabouts. In Poland, you would spend that same 10 and you would get pretty close to America. You might even spend less.
I gotcha.
It's very. Most countries have a huge difference. America's my base because it's like America. I remember going there, but like, hey, do you have a different size like combo meal? Like, nah, bro, just the one big. I was like, fuck. Like in New Zealand, you get small, you get medium, you get large. You bitches got just one. I was like, fuck, and you don't have a choice. It's like, here's your diabetes. Take it all. You don't have a choice.
Hey,
it's
Shane,
huge.
Shane, I wanted to ask you because I talked with my friend recently, and he was like, he was doing a debate with me about the fries. and he said that McDonald's has the best fries. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
It's tricky.
I don't even like fast food, and yes, McDonald's does.
I'm
It's
asking
tricky.
you specifically because you were like in many McDonald's or
McDonald's fries, the best thing about McDonald's, and this is why I like it, is it's fucking reliable. No matter where you go in the world, even though like they have like in when we were in Malaysia, they have like I'm pretty sure one of the places had like I think they were the one that had chicken pieces, like wings. I can't remember if that was them, but they'll do like spicy burgers and they'll do different kind of things here and there. But no matter where you go, they'll always have a Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
They'll always have like a milkshake, nuggets, fries. They always have the staple fillet of fish. They always have the staple items. So
Yeah.
and they all taste pretty similar. The only kind of thing that changes is the size of the meat.
Mm-hmm.
Like in America and Poland, the beef that you get is pretty similar in size. Go to New Zealand, it's pretty skinny. Looks like they cooked it for like an extra 30 minutes. It's like it's just thin. Same with the nuggets. Like the nuggets will have a little bit extra, chicken shit, whatever they put in that thing. It's yeah. But it all kind of has that same smell, that same taste.
Yeah.
The McDonald's fries. See, I do like them, but I would put KFC fries above McDonald's.
KFC is the wedges? Like, is the potato wedges
Oh, wait.
is what KFC?
Do you guys not get KFC fries? Oh damn!
I don't know. I haven't been in a KFC in so long. I couldn't tell you. I'm just thinking like the last time I was in one.
I never went to a KFC in the US.
Just
I thought
You guys
like
got
fried
Chick-fil-A,
potato
so
wedges.
you got Chick-fil-A in the US. So I was like, what the fuck? Would I go to KFC?
The wedges, yeah.
Well, that's two different things. So Chick-fil-A is boneless stuff. KFC, you go for bone-in chicken.
No.
There's a
But we're
big
talking about
difference.
fries. I'm saying KFC's fries. I'm not talking wedges. I don't even know they fucking made. I don't think they have wedges here for KFC. But the fries, they're just great thickness, sogginess, chicken salt on top. Oh, they're good. They're good. I don't know if you guys have experienced it. Maybe not.
Nope, not for me.
But then see, I went to when we had McDonald's in Turkey. They don't salt their fries. Yeah, I know. But see, initially I was like, "The fuck's wrong with you?" But then I'm like, it's not that weird. So when I said, "Can I get a Big Mac combo and this, and then I walk away, and then maybe it was Burger King. No, I'm pretty sure it was McDonald's. Anyway, and we got the fries, and I was like, "What the hell's wrong with these fries? Something's fucking off. They're like undercooked." And Nikki's like, "They didn't put salt on these fries." And the drink, I forgot. He didn't ask me what kind of drink. So we realized that when you went to this fast food place, you had to specifically say, you can't just say Big Mac meal. Can I get my fries salted? So they don't mind doing it. It's just that their base level is no salt, and their drink is always the regular sugar Coke. So if you wanted something else, you had to. They wouldn't ask you to say, "Would you like what drink? Would you like?" Which is what everybody does. You had to tell them. And can I get Coke Zero, whatever the fuck? So, yeah, no salt fries. That is the kind of hell I don't want to live in.
No, that's gross. Not.
I didn't know what I was missing until I didn't have it.
Until you didn't have salt. You transported
thought it was
yourself back to the
normal.
Middle Ages when they didn't have salt for food.
Yeah, I just thought it was just odd that you didn't put it in. I would have thought you would have put it in. I don't know. But apparently, maybe they love it there without the salt. I don't know. I didn't
You
want
know
to be
what?
that stupid tourist and say,
I've noticed that when I was visiting Turkey as well, when we had buffet, they didn't use salt that much, and everything basically was on the table. So it was all comes down.
It's
to
not.
your preference.
I mean, I'm just saying it's weird because, I traveled and I'm from a country that uses salt. America uses a lot of salt. So when you go to a country that doesn't, it just seems such of a weird, detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you should put it on the travel banner. Turkey doesn't use salt. But like, it's just such a like metric system. I understand these little things, but no salt on fries. I was like, the fuck? But I guess it's not too far out of your mind to think that there's a country that doesn't usually. Some might say it's a lot healthier, but yeah,
They should
I
do
love
like
the salt.
fries with salt. Extra.
Yeah, but see, that's what you would do in a country. But then, like in America, when they put the pickle on top of the burger,
Yeah.
I remember ordering a burger and getting the pickle on top, and I was like, the fuck is it not in the burger? I was like, and I said to my friend, he's like, oh yeah. I think he said it's just people don't like pickles. They put it on top, and I was like, you just asked for no pickles. You just put it on top. Now I got like pickle-soaked bun.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It's gross.
But I thought that I just like I'd never seen that before. This is weird. But then I guess, you know, it's not the weirdest thing you see in America.
Far from it. Far from it. Go walk down Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras time in New Orleans. You'll see some sights you can't unsee.
That's the one place that I think me and my wife would like to go. But the reason we didn't was because years ago we were like, oh, we got a spare few weeks. We're in Vegas. Let's just trip on down to New Orleans. New Orleans.
Because
originally we were saying New Orleans, and they're like, don't you dare say New.
I mean, if people from New Orleans don't say New Orleans, but people from outside of New Orleans say New Orleans. What doesn't make sense is when people say, "Oh, you're from Louisiana, you go to Nolans." Nobody from New Orleans actually says Nolans. Okay, that's one way to
so
you're definitely not from New Orleans.
Fuck.
Weird.
So don't go.
Anyway, I was gonna go down, and it was the time that they had like that giant was it like a tsunami or like a flood or storm or something?
Katrina?
2005 with Katrina?
No. I think it was in the teens. It was like 2015, 16, 17, somewhere around there. Yeah. And there was like a big warning. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the fuck? The time that I wanted to go down. And then we saw it on the news and I was like, well, I'm not pushing my luck. I'm gonna stay in fucking bone dry Vegas.
We will whenever the world decides to get its shit together and you and Nikki decide to traverse down to New Orleans for Mardi Gras and go to New Orleans, we'll make it a group team. So I will drive the 8 hours to New Orleans to meet you in New Orleans from Texas.
What are you driving for? Catch a plane.
Because it's a far trip. I enjoy driving. It's 8 hour drive.
That doesn't surprise me, to be honest. It sounds like a bit of you.
What does that mean?
You read books, you eat vegetables, you like long drives.
I like warm bubble baths with mineral salt.
Do you like painting on the back porch in the summer?
No. No. Although for a while, Sandy and I, when we were going to bed at night, we would watch old Bob Ross paintings, like the old Joy of Painting TV shows with Bob Ross. That used to be on. Y'all probably have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds about right.
Go look up Joy of Painting Bob Ross on YouTube.
No.
Yes.
I want to get hooked into your thing. Eating your fucking garden and your bloody 8 hour drives. I couldn't. The thing is like when you catch a plane to make up for that short drive, you legit spend what, like hour, 2 hours getting to the airport, at the airport, hour the other end.
Same amount of time anyway. It's still 8
you're
hours.
Really only saving like an hour or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But you're constantly doing something throughout the process of a flight. Whereas in a car, you just sit there and it's like, oh, fuck. This is too much.
Well, clearly, your wife must be much quieter than mine because with Sandy in the car, it's never a dull thing. It's never dull. It is. There's.
My wife's the same. She would be like, "This is fucking. I don't want to drive," or she'll just fall asleep. So yeah.
Well, Sandy does that, but she does a fair amount of talking too when we're doing a road trip. So. All right, gents, I got to hop off. We've got a babysitter coming to the house in 45 minutes. So we got to do a quick scrub down and vacuuming and whatnot. So I will bid you gentlemen adieu. Thank you for hopping on today. For the listeners on the live stream that tuned in, thank you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on replay, leave us a 5-star review in iTunes. We would appreciate the support with that. And if you were interested in further supporting the show.
Message Roebuck and ask him what the fuck he's doing. I mean, yes, I missed 90 minutes, but
you still showed up.
I showed up a little bit.
You did. That's better. And something is always better than nothing, which is more than we can say for Robbie.
The salary, that's all.
Yes, I'll get Liz share of the $5.
Yeah.
I still don't know what's worse. I slipped in or Robix at an event. His is slightly more important. I just fell asleep.
All right, guys. Have a good one. We will catch you all next time on the Final Scoop.
Take care.
See ya.